Welcome back to the channel today. We're counting down the top 12 Japanese motorcycles that are the ultimate wolves in sheep's clothing. These are the machines that trade flash for fury and subtle style for shocking speed. Get ready because we're about to reveal the bikes that prove you should never judge a book by its cover. Let's get into it. Number 12, Suzuki Bandit 1250. And we begin our list with a master of deception, the bike that defines sleeper for an entire generation, the Suzuki Bandit 1250. Beneath its calm, almost understated design sits a 1255cc cubic centimeters inline-4 engine that delivers a deep swell of torque, roughly 80 pound-feet of real road-ready pulling force. Roll on the throttle and the Bandit responds with a thick, effortless surge that climbs all the way toward a top speed close to 140 miles per hour, a feat most riders would never expect from a bike that seems so polite. What makes the Bandit so deceiving is how refined its strength feels. The six-speed transmission moves through each gear with smooth certainty, while the chassis remains settled and comfortable, even when the engine is pouring out its surprising power. It is a motorcycle built for riders who appreciate honest performance without the flash, and its affordability and maintenance costs make it even more appealing. But Japan doesn't only hide speed in plain motorcycles. Sometimes they hide it in machines that look refined, almost gentlemanly, the kind of bike you'd never suspect could sting when pushed. And that is where our next contender steps in. Number 11, Honda VRFR 800. There are motorcycles that announce their intentions with sharp angles and wild colors. And then there is the Honda VFR 800, a machine that prefers to whisper before it roars. At first glance, it looks like a calm, well-mannered sport tour built for long weekends and quiet commutes. But hiding beneath that composed exterior is a 782 CIC cubic centimeters V4 engine capable of delivering the kind of acceleration that makes your heart jump. With its unique VTEC system snapping to life as the revs climb, the VFR unleashes a wave of smooth rising power that can send it from 0 to 60 in just a touch over 3 seconds and push toward a top speed near 154 miles per hour. What makes the VFR so captivating is the way it blends civility with surprise. The 6-speed gearbox shifts with clean precision. The chassis feels poised and trustworthy, and the mid-range punch from that V4 is nothing short of addictive. Riders often expect something gentle, yet the moment the engine opens up, the VFR transforms into a refined missile disguised as a touring companion. And if this list of stealthy speed machines is getting your heart racing, you're our kind of person. Fuel the mission, smash that like button. Tell us your favorite sleeper so far in the comments and subscribe for more. Your support is what lets us hunt down these incredible bikes. Now let us get back to the list because the next bike is the one that completely rewrote the rules for the naked category. Number 10, Yamaha FZ1. Picture a motorcycle parked under a street lamp at dawn. Silent, still, almost unremarkable. That is the Yamaha FZ1 at first sight. At first glance, it carries the posture of a simple naked commuter. Upright, unfussy, almost gentle. But hidden inside that modest frame beats the heart of a true predator. Its 998 cubic centimeters inline-4 is born directly from the legendary R1 lineage, tuned to deliver a surge of horsepower that feels immediate and intoxicating. Twist the throttle and the FC1 lunges forward with a clean rising force that can send it toward a top speed near 154 miles per hour, a number that shocks anyone who judged it by appearance alone. What makes this machine unforgettable is how naturally it blends everyday friendliness with serious capability. The power band stretches wide and smooth, giving the FZ1 a playful charm in city traffic and a fierce edge when the road opens up. Its lightweight chassis feels nimble beneath you, offering confidence as the pace builds and the engine begins to sing its deeper note. And despite all that performance, well-kept FC1s remain surprisingly attainable, often becoming a long-term companion for riders who appreciate speed delivered without flash. But even with that mild exterior, it still looks like a modern machine. Some riders want their sleeper speed wrapped in something that does not just look slow, but looks like it traveled through time from an era where speed was a rumor, not a feature. And if you want the ultimate old school but dangerously alive illusion, the next motorcycle wears its retro costume so convincingly that most riders never imagine how violently it can break character. Number 9. The Kawasaki ZR-X 1200R. Some motorcycles wear nostalgia like a badge of honor. Broad tanks, bold stripes, and the unmistakable stance of the 70s. At a distance, the Kawasaki ZR-X 1200R seems like one of those machines, a respectful tribute to an earlier era when muscle bikes ruled the streets. But this tribute has teeth. The moment the throttle is cracked, what looks like a classic universal Japanese motorcycle suddenly transforms into a raw, surging force, powered by 1,164 cubic centimeters inline four that delivers well over 80 pound-feet of torque. That strength arrives early, climbing from low revs with a punch that can lift the front wheel before you even expect it. Its broad power band stretches from a steady 3,000 revolutions all the way to a fierce 9,000, pulling with a determination that surprises riders who assume its retro styling means relaxed performance. Out on the open road, the ZRX can charge toward a top speed close to 151 miles per hour, its chassis staying composed despite its muscular presence. And today, well-kept examples often remain within reach for riders who want genuine speed wrapped in timeless attitude. Still, as much as the ZRX hides its performance behind old-school aesthetics, it is clearly built to look tough. Our next machine does not even bother with toughness. It looks like a polite, responsible touring bike, the kind you expect to see ridden by someone who carries maps in their pockets. Yet that polite exterior hides one of the most surprising high-speed performances ever put into a sensible motorcycle. Number 8. Honda ST1300 Pan-European. From a distance, the Honda ST1300 Pan-European looks like a gentle, long-distance companion. Broad fairing, upright comfort, and a silhouette that whispers touring miles rather than raw acceleration. But hidden inside that calm exterior sits a 1,261 cubic centimeter V4 engine that delivers far more strength than its relaxed posture suggests. With roughly 126 horsepower and close to 92 pound-feet of torque, the Pan-European surges forward with a smooth, confident punch. Twist the throttle and this heavyweight tourer can rush toward a top speed near 140 miles per hour, a number that catches many riders completely off guard. What makes the ST1300 so deceptive is how composed it feels while doing it. The chassis stays stable and predictable. The shaft drive delivers power with creamy precision, and the 5-speed gearbox moves through each gear with calm authority. Despite its size, it handles winding back roads with an agility that surprises anyone who only judged it by its touring shape. But its appearance is unmistakably touring-focused, built for distance more than drama. The next bike, however, takes that same idea of looks comfortable, rides like lightning, and packs it into a slimmer, more approachable silhouette. The kind of bike that looks easygoing from a distance, but carries far more heat than its polite posture suggests. Number 7. Kawasaki Ninja 1000SX. At first glance, the Kawasaki Ninja 1000SX looks like a polite sport tour built for relaxed weekends, upright bars, a generous seat, and bodywork that leans more toward comfort than combat. But beneath that friendly posture lives a 143 cubic centimeter inline. Ford descended from Kawasaki's superbike family, an engine that unleashes roughly 140 horsepower and more than 80 pound-feet of torque with startling urgency. Roll on the throttle and this so-called tourer rushes from a standstill with the kind of intensity that pushes it toward a top speed approaching 159 miles per hour, leaving riders wondering how such an approachable machine hides so much strength. The Ninja 1000SX feels composed at any pace, its electronics smoothing each shift and its chassis staying steady as the speedometer climbs. It glides on the highway, yet carves corners with surprising sharpness, all while sipping fuel like a sensible commuter. But if a comfortable luggage-ready machine can carry this much secret ferocity, the next motorcycle masked its true nature in a way even more deceptive, and its power reveals itself the moment you stop judging by appearances. Number 6. Suzuki GSX-S 1000F. On the surface, the Suzuki GSX 1000F looks like a polite, everyday machine. Sleek, modern, almost modest, but beneath those calm fairings lives a heart pulled straight from Suzuki's iconic GSX-R lineage. Its 1000C inline 4 may appear civilized, yet it delivers the kind of urgent acceleration that catches even seasoned riders off guard. This is a street-tuned shape hiding a superbike ambition. Suzuki built it for real-world riding, not for paddock vanity. That's why its ergonomics feel welcoming. Its posture looks approachable, and its silhouette blends in. But twist the throttle and the bike sheds every ounce of subtlety. The engine wakes up with a sharp rising pull. The chassis stays planted and the suspension keeps everything tight and predictable as the speed climbs. And there it is, the Suzuki GSX 1000F, a wolf disguised as a sport tour. And we're only getting started. But before we blast into the top 5, we need your voice right now. Who's taking the #1 spot? Don't wait. Drop your guess in the comments this second and stake your claim. And if you've ever thrown a leg over a slow bike that nearly launched you into another dimension, a machine that looked harmless until it proved you dead wrong, share that story too. We want to hear every one of them. Make sure you're subscribed and the bell is on because the competition gets fierce from here. You do not want to miss what's coming next. Number 5, Kawasaki Z900RS. The Kawasaki Z900RS is the kind of machine that tricks you at first glance. With its 70s silhouette, round headlamp, and that smooth teardrop tank, it carries itself like a relaxed weekend cruiser. But the moment you fire it up, the disguise falls apart. That 948 cubic centimeters inline 4 has the bite of a genuine modern performer, surging forward with a crisp rising pull that catches riders completely off guard. It feels composed, approachable, even polite right until you ask for more. Then it reveals just how quickly classic charm can turn into a blur of wind and asphalt. What really sells the illusion is how balanced the whole package feels. Comfortable ergonomics, steady suspension, and a trellis frame that keeps everything planted when the pace climbs. But it still carries the presence of a big retro machine, the kind that looks planted and confident. The next bike hides its speed in a different way. It doesn't look big, it looks light. It doesn't look strong, it looks simple, almost too simple. Yet beneath that minimalist neo-retro shell is one of the most hyperactive engines Japan has ever put into a calm L-looking motorcycle. Number 4, Yamaha XSR 900. The Yamaha XSR 900 is one of those machines that fools you in the best possible way. At a glance, it looks like a relaxed retro cafe build. Smooth lines, classic stance, vintage bones. But the moment you crack the throttle, that illusion evaporates. The 890C triple punches forward with a clean, eager surge that feels far more aggressive than its old-school silhouette suggests. It carries itself like a polite throwback, yet underneath lies a motor with the attitude of a modern street brawler. What really makes the XSR 900 shine is how effortlessly it blends heritage with present-day engineering. Its lightweight chassis keeps the bike playful. The suspension stays planted, and the electronics quietly tidy up the edges, so the ride stays confident, not chaotic. But next up, we have a bike that's basically the James Bond of motorcycles. Calm, elegant, perfectly groomed. You'd never guess it can shove you into your helmet with raw power. That quiet sophistication, that's exactly what makes its punch feel like it came out of nowhere. Number 3, Honda CB 10000R. Some motorcycles arrive quietly, their presence understated, yet the moment you fire them up, the truth roars through the streets. The Honda CB 10000R is exactly that kind of machine. It wears the calm, refined posture of a retro naked machine. Round headlight, broad tank, upright stance. But beneath that gentlemanly exterior sits a heart borrowed from Honda's Fireblade bloodline. That 998 cubic centimeters inline 4 pours out a savage wave of power that feels nothing like the relaxed silhouette suggests. One twist and the bike lunges ahead with a clean, angry pull that keeps climbing gear after gear until you realize this casual cruiser look-alike is hunting sport bikes for breakfast. What makes the CB 10000RR special is how seamlessly it mixes that violence with Honda's famously composed engineering. The chassis stays planted, the handling feels intuitive, and the bike carries itself with the kind of confidence that veteran riders love. Fast when you want it, calm when you need it. It is the definition of a sleeper. Quiet at idle, explosive on demand. But even then, it's clearly a modern naked bike. Clean and athletic in its proportions. The next motorcycle abandons athletic proportions entirely. It's big, heavy, and dressed like a long-distance tool, the sort of machine people assume prioritizes comfort over speed. And yet, beneath all that touring equipment lies the bloodline of one of Japan's most extreme engines ever built. Number 2. Kawasaki Concourse 14. Picture this. You roll past traffic on what everyone assumes is a cushy cross-country machine. Big fairings, tall screen, hard bags, the whole relaxed tourer uniform. Nobody gives it a second look. But the moment you crack the throttle on the Kawasaki Concourse 14, that disguise falls apart. The 1,352 cubic centimeter inline-4, born from the same lineage as the Ninja ZX-14R, surges forward with a deep, effortless shove that feels nothing like its gentle silhouette. 0 to 60 in roughly 3 seconds, 1/4 mile in the 10-second range, and a top speed that climbs far beyond what its touring shape suggests. It is a missile wearing dad glasses. What makes the Concourse 14 such a brilliant sleeper is the contrast. You get the heated grip comfort, the upright ergonomics, the electric windshield, yet the chassis stays rock solid when you ask for more. It is calm when you cruise, monstrous when you demand speed, and absolutely beloved among riders who want distance without giving up adrenaline. Still, no matter how shocking its performances compared to its appearance, it was never meant to be a legend. Our final motorcycle, though, that one rewrote the entire idea of what a slowing but insanely fast bike could be. It looks heavy, calm, almost gentle, a big, quiet giant. But behind that modest shape lives one of the most outrageous performance stories in motorcycle history. Number 1, Suzuki Hayabusa. At first glance, the Suzuki Hayabusa looks like a 90s-era Grand Tour that wandered into the modern world by accident. That wide wind-carved fairing, the long wheelbase, the relaxed riding posture. None of it screams record breaker, but twist the throttle and the whole illusion detonates. That 1,340 cubic centimeters inline, 4 unleashes nearly 200 horsepower with a tidal wave surge that sends the Hayabusa from 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds and through the 1/4 mile in the 9-second range. Top speed is politely capped at 186 miles per hour, yet restricted runs have pushed well beyond 250. And the best part, at low speed, the bike feels calm, smooth, almost gentle, right up until you glance down and realize you are already deep into triple digits. Its sleeper status is untouchable. The curb weight hovers well over 580 pounds, and the roomy ergonomics trick onlookers into thinking it is a highway couch. Instead, it tracks like a guided missile. The 2025 generation refinesses the formula even further with upgraded electronics, a bidirectional quick shifter, launch control, and that unmistakable silhouette perfected in the wind tunnel. Price only sweetens the story. New models land around $19,000, while clean used Hayabusas, from recent low-mile examples to older, still brutal bargains, offer staggering performance for the money. And as this countdown reaches its peak, one truth stands tall. The quietest machines often hide the wildest speed, and if seeing these sleeper bikes in action got your heart racing, keep the adrenaline flowing. Did we miss a bike that deserves a spot? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe for more motorcycle content, and as always, ride safe.